Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're back with another video. We're back with our second round playoff predictions. So let's just get straight into it. So to start it off, I'm just going to go over the first round and how I did my predictions. So I can tell you right now that I got a total of 5 out of 8 correct. So not very good, but it's not the horrible, but it's kind of mid, you know what I mean? So we'll start over in the Eastern Conference for the recap. We'll start with the Celtics versus Heat. So obviously that series was always going to be very difficult for the Heat to win without Jimmy Butler. And I predicted the Celtics to win in 6 games. The Celtics did win in 5. After winning game 2, everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, how can the Heat actually pull one of the craziest upsets off?" But unfortunately they couldn't for them. And the Celtics, they just took care of business. Derek White was insane in those last 2 games. It shows you how much depth the Celtics actually have with Derek White, like your 5th best player, like your third or fourth, at least third best player. Like he's not better than Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. He's he dropped 38 one game and 25. I don't think he's their third best player either. Like you have Kristaps Porzingis, you have Drew Holiday, you have Derek White, you have Al Horford. Like that team is so stacked. It's unbelievable. So yeah, they took care of business. Well done to them. They did let game 2 slip, but I didn't really watch many of the games in this series. So congratulations to the Celtics for moving on. Then we'll go to the 76ers versus Knicks. I actually tipped the 76ers here, so I got this one wrong. The Knicks did win in 6 games. I said 76ers in 7, so I was wrong there. But the Knicks, it was a really good series. It was probably the best series in the first round in terms of games-wise. Like, they were all very close games, and I saw a graphic where I think the 76ers only had 1 less point than the Knicks in the entire series, like 650 to 649 or something like that. But yeah, it was a great series. Tyrese Maxey draining that logo 3 from in game 5 to keep the 76ers season alive. That was a great shot. Obviously, game 2 was insane as well with the Dante DiVincenzo 3 and the 76ers being up by 5 and then choking the lead. But yeah, Jalen Brunson had a quiet first 2 games, and then he absolutely exploded in those last 4 games. He's by far one of the best guards in the NBA. I reckon he's easily top 5. He's like a top 10 player in the NBA now, I would say, Jalen Brunson. Maybe that's a bit of Maverick spice there, but I love Jalen Brunson. I think he's a very good player. Joel Embiid obviously did have that 50-point game, but yeah, obviously he was dealing with some injuries. The knee injury, the Bell's palsy were the reason for his eye, his face paralysis almost. But yeah, he played decently. He played not decently, but he played very well. Decently for his standards, but disappointing for the 76ers. Tobias Harris was a no-show in game 6 there. 0 points on 29 minutes shooting 2 shots. You're paying $30 million to that man, over $30 million to that man, and you chose him over Jimmy Butler. And he goes out and puts that performance up on the board. It's really not good enough. And yeah, Tyrese Maxey was probably their shining light for the future, because he's absolutely insane. He is they actually got him for really good value, 21st pick. He's been insane, Tyrese Maxey. So congrats to him, and congrats to the Knicks for moving on. Then we'll go to the Bucks vs Pacers. I also got this one wrong. I said Bucks in 6, and it was actually the Pacers in 6. When I recorded that video, I thought that Giannis was only going to be out for 1 or 2 games, but in the end, he was out for the entire series, and Damian Lillard also got hurt. I think he was out for 2 games. But yeah, Damian Lillard did go off in the first few games, but I said it was his time to shine, and he did shine pretty well towards the start of that series. And then Chris Middleton with that crazy game 4. Was it game 4? Might have been game 4. Might have been game 3. I don't remember. But he hit 2 game-tying threes. Couldn't hit the third to save the Bucks. But I think that it was very disappointing for the Bucks. Obviously, they're out in the first round again for the 2nd year in a row after winning the championship only 3 years ago. So yeah, it's disappointing for the Bucks to say the least. And I think that they have to make some major changes, whether it be coaching stuff, but obviously Giannis and Dame being injured is not the greatest thing come playoff time, but still, if they do run it back next year, they should at least be hoping to make. So they should be definitely making the NBA Finals at the minimum, I would say. At least getting close to being Boston, because Boston is going to be back next year, you would say, in the same conversation as them. But they have to make conference finals at the minimum. And you would say they probably have to make NBA Finals. But yeah, after a few disappointing years, the Milwaukee Bucks get eliminated in the first round again. But congrats to the Pacers. They played great team basketball in the last game. There was like 4, 5. I think there was like 6 people with almost 20 points. So it was not just one person who was carrying the load. But yeah, congrats to the Pacers. I think they thoroughly deserve the win, and they should hold their heads up high because they're a young team with very little expectations, and I don't think anyone expected them to win a playoff series this year. So congrats to them, and yeah, well done to the Pacers. Now for the final playoff series, the only 7-game series, the final playoff series in the East, and the only 7-game series in the entire first round. That was the Cavs versus the Magic. Yeah, so obviously basically the home team always won every game. The Cavs looked like dominant in the first couple games. They looked like they were going to run away with it, and then the Magic were dominant in the next 2 games. And then the Cavs came back, and the Magic came back, and the Magic were up by 18 today, I believe, in the first half. So, and then the Cavs came back down 18 to win a great Game 7, and congrats to the Cavs. Donovan Mitchell went crazy in Game 6, even in a losing effort, 50 points out of their line, like 96 or something like that. He also had a great game today. But the Magic, yeah, they should hold their heads up high as well. They had very little expectations coming into the year. Most people predicted them not even to make the play-in tournament. So to almost win a playoff series is a really good job for the Magic, and Jamal Mosley, great coach. So congrats and Paolo Banchero played out of his mind this series. So congrats to the Magic, and congrats to the Cavs for moving on. Now over to the West, we'll start off with Thunder and Pelicans. Not really much to talk about here. I did predict the Thunder. Sorry, in the last series, I did predict the Cavs in 6, and I got that tip right. But I did predict the Thunder would win in 6 games. I thought Zion was coming back, but I wasn't sure. I think I knew that he was out for most of the series, but I thought Brandon Ingram, the way he played in that playing game, they could maybe steal a game or 2. But yeah, the Thunder just put their balls to the wall and went crazy. They won by 2 points in the first game, so oh, is this going to be a close series? But nah, after that, they just stomped on the Pelicans, and the Pelicans got eliminated in a sweep. So congrats to the Thunder, and they'll be moving on. Next, Nuggets-Lakers. I don't think anyone predicted this, predicted the Lakers to win, and if you did, then you're probably a Lakers fan. But the Nuggets did their thing. Jamal Murray with 2-game winners is crazy, even though he didn't have the best series. But Jamal Murray with 2-game winners, shout out to him. Nikola Jokic was great. I mean, the Lakers, I said Nuggets in 6. Nuggets did win in 5. I think the Lakers should definitely have won an extra game, whether it be game 2 or game 5. But, you can't choke those leads. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with LeBron and stuff. But the Nuggets took care of business against a good team. But, the Nuggets are miles better than the Lakers. And yeah, the Lakers have been eliminated for the second time by the Nuggets in a row, and this time they lost 10 games in a row to the Nuggets, and then they won one, and then they lost another. So you don't really expect. I don't think anyone really expected the Lakers to beat the Nuggets, other than Lakers fans. But yeah, so congrats to the Nuggets for moving on. And third was the Phoenix Minnesota series. Many people were picking Phoenix, and I picked Minnesota in 7, so I'll take it, even though the games are completely off. I did pick Minnesota in 7. Minnesota did win in a sweep. But the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards is mentally, he's mental. He's a top 10 player in the NBA. I watched game 1 of the Nuggets T-Wolves series. That game was mental. And Anthony Edwards was a huge part of why the Timberwolves did win that game. But Anthony Edwards averaged 35 points plus in that series. He beat the big 3 of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. They've been eliminated. Shout out the Suns. See you later. I hate the Suns as a Mavs fan, but I don't know about what the Suns are going to do this offseason. Obviously, they haven't got their first round pick till 2031, and Bradley Beal's contract is only getting worse. He has a no trade clause as well, so he basically is stuck on the Suns forever, and the Suns are stuck with him for another 2 or 3 years, which is not great with him taking $60 million off the salary cap. We'll see what happens with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. We'll see if they're both there. Kevin Durant obviously complaining about his role, but yeah, the Suns did get eliminated in the first round quite quickly. Disappointing for them, to say the least. They definitely should have. If they were to lose, I would say they would need to lose in 7 for them to be respected, even. Because, bro, right now they are one of the most they're gone, bro. No one cares about the Suns. Everyone knows that they're a laughing stock. And finally, the last series, which I got wrong, I said Clippers in 6. It was Mavs in 6. I'm happy because I'm a Mavs fan. But yeah, shout out Kyrie. He was insane. Shout out Luka. Clippers did play well. James Harden played really well in the wins, and Paul George played decently. He was pretty bad this entire series. Russell Westbrook played horribly. But yeah, we did the job, and we're moving into the second round. So unfortunately, the Clippers are eliminated in the first round for the second season in a row again. So lots of disappointments for teams. So the old generation is gone now. LeBron out, PG, Kawhi out, Giannis. I mean, he's not really old, but he's out. Kevin Durant out. You know, it's like it's crazy to think about. Who else is out? There was one more famous old head. I don't remember, but yeah, like all of these teams are out, and you know, it's a new generation's time. Luca, Tyrese Halliburton, Jason Tatum, Nikola Jokic. I mean, he's not really new, but Anthony Edwards. Like obviously, the old generation's time is up. James Harden, Russell Westbrook, they're all out now as well. So let's get on to the predictions now, and we'll start off in the East, the 1v4 matchup with the Celtics and the Cavaliers. Fairly easy prediction for me. I'm going the Celtics this time in 5 games. I don't have faith in the Cavs after, you know, almost choking the Game 7 and losing at home to the Magic. I think the Celtics are a miles better team than them, and they should get the job done within 5 or 6 games, I would say. Celtics should get the job done. And if the Cavs win this series, it's going to be a major upset. Now, Knicks versus Pacers. If the Pacers win the series, it will also be a major upset in my opinion. I'm going to go with the Knicks in 6 games because I think the Pacers can steal a couple of games on the road or at home maybe. But I'm going to go with the Knicks. The Knicks, Jalen Brunson's been playing out of his mind, as I said. He's been balling. Obviously, their supporting cast has been very good as well. OG Anunoby, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart has been really good as well. So I think the Knicks get the job done against the Pacers team, which has also been playing really good basketball, but I just don't think their lack of playoff experience compared to the Knicks' playoff experience is just going to cost them, and the Knicks are going to win this series and advance to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics. Moving on to the Western Conference, Mavericks versus Thunder. I'm obviously hoping the Mavericks win, but I'm going to go to Thunder because, I mean, they've been playing amazing basketball, as I've said. Hopefully we do get the job done, but I mean, SGA and the supporting cast, Giddey, Holmgren, all of them have been playing really well. So I'm going to go with the Thunder to win this series in 6 games. Hopefully we can steal 2 games. But I don't really have much faith in us taking the series, even though lots of people do think we will win this series, I should say. But I don't think we're winning this series because I think the Thunder are just that good of a team. And finally, I'm going to go with the Nuggets to beat the T-Wolves. I did watch Game 1. T-Wolves did take Game 1. Shout out to them. And shout out to Anthony Edwards. And this is going to be a cracking series. If all of the games are like that, then like this is probably going to be one of the best series of all time. Like it's going to be a cracker. I'm going to go with the Nuggets in 7 games. I mean, it's going to be tough to stop Anthony Edwards the way he's been like rolling recently, but I still am going to pick the reigning champions, Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. I'm going to pick them over basically any team in the NBA right now. Like, it's very difficult for me to pick. I would probably pick them over the Celtics, who have been the best team in the NBA so far this season. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Nuggets to win this series in 7 games and face the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. So I'm going to pick the 1 and 2 seeds from both conferences to advance. Yeah, guys, thanks for watching now. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all later. Goodbye.